Leading the news this Monday, the push for Violene's law calls for major change in the wake of the grandmother's tragic death. The border security battle intensifies. The Prime Minister faces tough questions over the latest boat arrival. A fresh asbestos emergency with the spotlight on contaminated mulch. Stars hit the red carpet for the Bafta Awards. We'll have the winners, plus the Aussies who missed out. And Tay Mania moves cities. We're there for a swift landing in Sydney.
This is 9 News Queensland with Aislin Kriukelis.
Good afternoon. The tragic death of Ipswich grandmother Violene White, allegedly murdered by a 16-year-old boy, has sparked calls for major legislation changes in our fight against youth crime. Live now to Tim Avia. Tim, what's being proposed?
Well, Ashlyn, these calls are coming from the Ipswich Mayor Teresa Harding, who's addressed State Cabinet with the Premier Stephen Miles and his ministers going to Ipswich today for a community cabinet. Now, what Teresa Harding is looking for is stronger laws relating to youth criminals. In particular, she says her community at Ipswich has been, under siege somewhat in over recent months and years, with a growing amount of youth crime in Ipswich. And in the wake of the death of Violene White, she says the Ipswich City Council is now calling for Violene's law. Now, what that is still to be worked out specifically. It's still to go to lawyers to actually work out what in the legislation they would like changed. But the Mayor says it's essentially tougher punishments for teen criminals who carry out what she says are adult crimes, and also tougher bail restrictions on repeat youth offenders who do carry out serious crimes. Now, that is something the Premier Stephen Miles says the government is already considering and is looking at doing. Here is a little bit of what the Mayor had to say today, and also the Premier Stephen Miles at an earlier press conference before the Mayor made her remarks.
What it's looking at is making sure that if someone is a violent offender, that they don't get bail. If they're going to do, really violent crimes, or an adult-like crime, then they need to be locked up and they shouldn't be out on bail.
Then it's up to the courts to use those sentences to ensure that we have sufficient punishment, as well as detention where programs can be intensively administered.
So, Ashlyn, all of this comes after some new polling has been carried out across Queensland, where regional Queenslanders in particular are shown to be more fearful of youth crime attacks whilst in their homes. We'll have more on those figures and more breaking news out of State Parliament tonight at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you at 6, Tim. Thank you. The Prime Minister has faced intense questioning on border security. With no early signs, the political fallout over last week's asylum seeker boat arrival will go away soon. Here's Federal Politics reporter Amanda Kopp.
Around 40 men who arrived near Broome in Western Australia on Friday have been flown to the Pacific island nation of Nauru, which is where Australia has our offshore processing facilities. But while the men have left Australia, the political headache hasn't gone away. The Prime Minister is actually in WA today and has rejected criticism from the opposition about border security. Opposition leader Peter Dutton has noted that according to a Border Force report, aerial and ocean patrolling has gone down slightly since the 2022 election. And Roger Cook, the WA Premier, also weighed in, saying while he thinks the Albanese government is broadly doing a good job, his state needs more support.
We need to have a greater presence on those coastlines. It's a vast coastline, and as a result of that, there are vulnerabilities.
It's clear that they don't have the same surveillance in place that we had when we were in government. It's inconceivable that a boat of this size, carrying 40 plus people, could make it to the mainland without there being any detection.
They will not be settled here in Australia. We have clear positions in place. We'll continue to do so. Peter Dutton will continue to be a cheer squad for things that actually undermine our borders.
However, there's been no explanation from the Prime Minister as to how this boat actually slipped through. He's fallen back on an old cover that the Coalition used to use, saying he won't be talking about operational matters.
A mother charged with the murder of her 7-month-old son has just been committed to stand trial over his death in a Brisbane court. Anna Rawlings reports.
After reading some witness statements and looking at some evidence, a magistrate today told Naomi Conda she would stand trial over the alleged murder of her baby boy. The 23-year-old is accused of killing 7-month-old Ruan Emmanuel Bosch in November 2022. Emergency services were called to a home at Yougar, northwest of Brisbane, allegedly finding an unresponsive child. His parents, who are religious, are accused of torturing their baby and praying over his body. Ruan's father, Reinhard Bosch, has also been committed to stand trial over the alleged murder. He's charged with torture and assault occasioning bodily harm. Ms. Conde was charged with murder and torture. Prosecutors today withdrew the torture charge, replacing it with one count of failing to supply the necessities of life. Ms. Conde told the court she is legally representing herself. Both she and Mr. Bosch are due back in court in September. The pair will then stand trial in Brisbane Supreme Court at a later date.
It's been a wild and woolly afternoon for the country's east coast. A storm is right now lashing parts of New South Wales, with 75,000 lightning strikes already hitting within a 100-kilometre radius of Sydney's CBD, including the city's Botanic Gardens, where 4 people were struck and are now in hospital. We will have more on that story a little later in the bulletin. Lightning has also struck the main runway at Sydney Airport, causing a massive hole to form. This has resulted in major flight delays at an average of at least an hour on all departing and incoming flights. Interstate planes have been grounded, unable to take off for Sydney until flights there are cleared. Let's bring in weather expert Garry Youngberry now. And Gaz, the Bureau has issued some storm warnings for southeast Queensland this afternoon. What is the latest?
Aislin, about 2:30 this afternoon, that severe weather warning or thunderstorm warning was for Logan, Scenic Rim and Gold Coast Council areas. There was one cell that dumped 47 millimetres near Beaudesert in just 30 minutes. The heaviest rain so far has been recorded at Mount Tamborine, 68 millimetres there in the rain gauge. Now let's have a look at the radar. From around midday, you'll see the line of showers and storms forming from the Gold Coast all the way through to the Sunshine Coast. At the moment on the south side around Coorong Cove, there's an area of storms, and also up around Maloney on the Sunshine Coast. But that's severe thunderstorm warning has just been cancelled a few moments ago. But still some rain and storms to come. Let's have a look at temperatures recorded across southeast Queensland today. Look, 27 was the maximum in Toowoomba, while the high across the southeast, 31 between Ipswich, Beaudesert, Gatton and Caboolture, 29 degrees here in the city, Redcliffe and the Gold and Sunshine Coast. Still some showers and storms to form over the next few hours, possible flash flooding. We'll keep an eye on those warnings and the latest radar with your full weather app a little later. Aislin.
See you soon, Garry. Thank you. Asbestos case numbers are growing by the day in Sydney, with 7 more sites identified. There are now 7 schools on the list of 41 contaminated sites. There are still more schools awaiting test results. If positive, it's hoped the areas can simply be cordoned off so students can continue their classes as usual.
We will only close schools if there's no other way to keep children away from the contaminated area, because safety is number one.
Hundreds of tests have been carried out since the crisis began last month, and with more results yet to come in, more contaminated sites are expected. After 3 mega back-to-back shows in front of more than 280,000 Melbourne fans, Taylor Swift has officially landed in Sydney. Heavy rain and battering winds not deterring the superstar from embarking on the second leg of her Eras tour across Australia. The first of Swift's 4 Sydney shows will kick off from Friday night. Staying behind bars. Up next, a man accused of a shocking road rage incident fronts court. Here, the Prime Minister's take on drinking alcohol at Parliament House. And King Charles out and about with Queen Camilla 2 weeks after starting cancer treatment.
The Brisbane family robbed by teenage crime gangs 4 times.
Terrorism in your own home.
40% of southeast Queenslanders now live in fear of teen crime. The only survivor of the deadly mushroom lunch speaks for the first time. And Tay-Tay on the move. 9 News, your news at 6.
Lift the veil that lays over country and reveal the interconnectedness of land, stories and ancestors. Parliamentary 2024 is uncovering connection. So you can see country how we see it. So you can see how country lights up our world. And you can feel country the way we feel it. Come and interconnect at Parliamentary 2024. This is where we connect.
After storms, always look out for fallen power lines and stay well clear. Report them to Energex immediately.
I'm Nat from O'Brien.
These cracks all started as chips.
Happens a lot.
We replaced thousands of windscreens.
But a chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener.
And with car insurance, your repair is usually free.
Book today.
O'Brien.
You and me, we're gonna make a memory.
This is Cheryl Long. She's an APIA customer consultant. Unlike some other insurers, APIA can offer you personalised advice, which means they take the time to understand what matters to you most. That's just one reason we're proud to have been awarded CanStar's Most Satisfied Customers 2023. Chat to APIA today and speak with a specialist like Cheryl, so you'll get cover that suits you and your budget. That's APIA value.
This summer, Drumstick is teaming up with Clean Up Australia to clean up here and here. So it doesn't end up here. Together, let's clean up our backyard.
A well-designed room can help you escape. Let Snooze help you get more out of your room. Because the more amazing your room is, the more amazing you'll feel.
Experience 2 for 1 Europe from $9,999 for 2 people, including flights. Take a friend and discover 8 countries. Cruise the Mediterranean for 7 nights and more. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
Want to know what's happening this week? It's a new era for the Queensland Reds in 2024, kicking off the Super Rugby Pacific season with a bang against their arch rivals, the Waratahs. Get to Suncorp Stadium Saturday, February 24th. Kick off at 7:05 p.m. Tickets at reds.rugby. 9 is Queensland.
Get ready for a new week of wows.
Wow. Don't miss it.
More drama.
Not that easy, is it?
Temptation.
You can risk losing it all. Come on, let's do it.
Cash in on the excitement. Tonight at 5 on Tipping Point.
The Prime Minister says common sense should apply when it comes to drinking alcohol at Parliament House. His comments come after Deputy Nationals leader Perrin Davey admitted to drinking and later slurred in a Senate hearing last week.
Well, there is no alcohol in my office. There are events in Parliament House. A bit of common sense should apply. People are adults and they should behave responsibly.
Party leader David Littleproud has defended Ms Davey, saying she wasn't drunk and shouldn't be punished. A driver remains behind bars this afternoon, accused of chasing 3 men down a busy Gold Coast street in a weekend road rage ordeal. Jessica Warboys was in court today as the accused case was mentioned for the first time.
Daniel May will remain behind bars, accused of the terrifying incident which unfolded in front of dozens of witnesses.
Allegedly speeding down Oxley Drive at Coombara on Saturday afternoon before this. Police say May is inside this Toyota Corolla moments before brake checking the Mazda Ute. The 3 unhappy Ute occupants chasing him down the street before the tables turn. The entire ordeal captured on camera, the Southport man accused of driving at them and narrowly missing one of the men.
The manner in which the driver of the Corolla drove, they were very lucky. I'd suggest it's not normal behaviour.
The 23-year-old is then accused of jumping out and making chase while armed with a penknife. Speeding off, miraculously, no one was injured. Police tracking him to a home in Springwood and laying charges. Today in court, he didn't apply for bail.
May is facing a raft of charges, including dangerous operation of a motor vehicle and going armed so as to cause fear. His matter will next be heard in March.
Desperation is growing over the crisis in Gaza. Police in the Palestinian territory have now opened fire on a crowd that stormed an aid truck coming through the Rafah crossing from Egypt. One person was killed in the chaos. Meantime, in Israel, the country's cabinet has formally opposed plans to recognise a Palestinian state before any settlement to the lengthy crisis. At the same time, Israeli fighter jets have hit what the Defence Forces claim is Hezbollah command centre in southern Lebanon. King Charles has been spotted attending Sunday Mass in the royal estate of Sandringham, nearly 2 weeks into his cancer treatment. The monarch and Queen Camilla spotted smiling and waving from under their umbrellas as they got caught in a heavy downpour. An incredible recovery, Jimmy Barnes prepares to return to the stage as he opens up about his life-threatening health scare. In sport, the victorious Broncos return from Mackay. They'll be back at the airport in 2 days. Will Brendan Piakura make the trip to Vegas? And Super Rugby returns this week. Can the Reds repeat their crushing trial performance against the Waratahs?
Kicking Queensland flood victims when they're down. State government promised to buy back their flood-prone homes, but
another lie.
9 News investigates tonight.
Over 2 huge nights, 3 new weddings.
You've met the king of the jungle.
Clear the aisle for love.
I'd say I was kind, compassionate and gorgeous, but that's just scratching the surface.
I am a psychic medium.
The new weddings
I accept you and I love you.
will sweep Australia away.
Gosh,
Tonight, 7:30 on 9. And The Experiment.
it's degrading.
Is about
to you, Lauren.
to be rocked.
There's things you can't say, and that is one of them.
Looking for dry eye relief? Try Sustain Complete preservative-free eye drops, just $22.99 from Chemist Warehouse. It relieves all types of dry eyes for up to 8 hours and is the winner of the Product of the Year 2024 in eye care. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
That didn't make sense. But this does. No Pong, all natural deodorant. Feel fresh all day.
What are your underarms like? Waxed? Natural? Unique? Dove Advanced Care. Its improved formula is enriched with caring oil for softer underarms and 48-hour protection. Dove Advanced Care. At Woolworths, we can help you spend less today with great weekly specials across the store, like half price on selected Bonds products. That's half price on selected Bonds, socks and underwear. That's today's fresh food people.
It's a footy fan stream. Last season was simply the best. In 2024, we're turning it up. He's the fastest man on the planet. This is where legends
Captain Courageous tonight.
bring you the best games every round. We're ready to get stuck in and turn it up.
The entertainers are back.
Live and free on 9 and 9 Now.
This sports report brought to you by Kinogo. You're only 3 minutes away from a whopping $40 million jackpot. Download the Kinogo app and start playing today.
Jimmy Barnes says he has just survived what he calls his closest brush with death after a life-threatening infection attacked his heart. Speaking in a revealing interview on 960 Minutes, the 67-year-old rock icon says the scare was extremely frightening for him and his family.
Were you afraid at all?
You know what? There was a point where I was lying and I was just going, I said to Jane, I don't think I'm going to make it this time.
He said, I think I'm going to die. And it's very difficult to hear that from somebody you love suffering like that. And that's a scary sort of thing to contemplate.
I just had this horrible morbid feeling because I just never felt this sort of sick before.
You thought you were
Yeah, I thought it was gone.
The former Cold Chisel frontman now lives with permanent battle scars, but is already preparing to return to the stage next month. Time for sport now with Jono, and a Bronco is racing the clock to be fit for round one, Jono.
Aislin, yes, the Broncos are hopeful he'll be OK to play in the season opener in Vegas, but they're waiting to determine the full extent of Brendan Kriukekis's knee strain. The back rower suffered the injury in yesterday's trial match in Mackay and returned to Brisbane with his knee still in a brace before heading off to undergo scans.
He's playing really well there and he's been really good all pre-season, so hopefully he's there for round one. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all pulls up, but yeah, fingers crossed for him.
Kriukekis has been groomed to fill the second row void left by Kurt Capel's departure to the Warriors. The Broncos leave for the US on Thursday, but it's Souths who'll arrive there first. The Rabbitohs beginning their journey ahead of the NRL's historic season opener.
He got up this morning buzzing, bouncing around the place, and Benny Hornby thinks I'm peaking too early, but yeah, it's like Santa Claus is coming today, so yeah, we're all pretty pumped.
South Sydney will spend a week training in San Diego before heading to Las Vegas for the doubleheader on March 3. Titans back rower Cleese Haas has been fined $1,000 for a Grade 1 contrary conduct charge stemming from the trial against the Dolphins. Haas was picked up for a hair pull on playmaker Jerome Burns, claiming it was accidental. After leading 8-4 at half-time, Des Hasler's young Titans outfit fell to the Dolphins 26-14.
It's good to rest all the NRL boys, all of them were rep players, so to get the experience against them, which helps me for the year, I guess.
Herbie Farnworth didn't disappoint in his Dolphins debut, scoring a try in his 60-minute stint, playing both centre and fullback. Les Kiss says he has no reservations about picking 19-year-old Harry McLaughlin-Phillips to debut at fly half in Saturday's season opener against the Waratahs. With James O'Connor ruled out for at least the next 3 weeks, Kiss could turn to the teenager against their arch rivals.
No reservations at all, if that was to be the case. I believe in the only way you get experience is to play, and I like my players to play as much as possible.
Kiss unwilling to reveal who'll start at 10, with Lawson Crichton, Tom Liner and McLaughlin-Phillips all in the mix. David Warner isn't expecting a friendly farewell on his final tour of New Zealand. The retiring opener hasn't forgotten what happened the last time he played a Test series across the Tasman in 2016.
The crowd, yeah, they got personal, but if they have to get personal, that's their character. I just go about my business, but that's upon each individual. If that's what they feel like they have to do, then so be it. If you want to pay your money to come and abuse people, then, you have to go back and lay in your own bed.
Warner will play his final 3 games in the T20 series, which starts on Wednesday. Australia has picked up 2 gold medals on the final night of the World Aquatic Championships in Doha. The 20-year-old Isaac Cooper winning the men's 50 metres backstroke final. Our women's medley relay team also reaching the top of the podium. It means the Dolphins will come home with a stellar 16-medal haul. Alex de Minaur has fallen short of his first title of 2024, beaten by Yannick Sinner in the Rotterdam Open final. The Demon put up a fight against the Australian Open champion, but eventually lost in straight sets. Despite the result, de Minaur moves to a career-high ranking of world number 9. Manchester United has solidified 5th spot on the Premier League ladder with a 2-1 win over a spirited Luton Town outfit. There was a very special Red Devils fan in attendance. Harry Styles spotted shaking hands with Hatters legend Mick Harford. Meanwhile, Brighton's 5-0 rout at Bramall Lane keeps Sheffield United firmly in the relegation zone. Hideki Matsuyama has stormed from 6 shots behind at the start of the final round to win the Genesis Invitational. The Japanese star carded 6 birdies on the back 9 at the Riviera Country Club in California to clinch his 9th PGA title. Australia's Jason Day finished inside the top 10. Lots more tonight at 6 o'clock, Aislin, including a big update on Bronco Ezra Mam. That 9 News exclusive with Adam Jackson.
Looking forward to it, Jono. Thank you. See you at 6. And that is where we'll say goodbye to our regional and Gold Coast viewers this afternoon. Thanks for your company. Your next bulletin is at 5:30, right after Tipping Point. Up next, a look at the day's top stories, plus 4 people struck by lightning as a wild afternoon storm lashes Sydney. Still in hospital, an update on the 10-year-old seriously injured in a car crash on her way to see Taylor Swift. Plus, equestrian Shane Rose speaks about this cheeky stunt as his chance to ride at the Paris Olympics hangs in the balance.
The Brisbane family robbed by teenage crime gangs 4 times.
Terrorism in your own home.
40% of southeast Queenslanders now live in fear of teen crime. The only survivor of the deadly mushroom lunch speaks for the first time. And Tay on the move. 9 News, your news at 6.
Succession.
I'm Jackson. I'm Jackson Packer.
Heir to the pack of fortune.
Tell me a secret.
Well,
14. Determined to be his own man.
I want to have an impact on people's lives.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, shucks.
A current affair tonight.
If you've got friends and family coming over for a barbie, pick up all the ingredients from Drake's, like snags, skewers, sauces, fresh breads and salads.
Drake's have all the ingredients for summer days.
The world needs natural resources to build and power our future. For 25 years, Glencore has mined the coal, metals and minerals that advance everyday life, that power our homes and businesses, and are used to create almost everything around us, from smartphones and electric cars to renewable energy for a low-carbon future, while becoming one of the world's largest mining companies you've probably never heard of. Glencore, advancing everyday life.
The Let's Go Caravan and Outdoor Expo has thousands of products for your next caravanning adventure. From budget camper trailers to fully equipped caravans, March 1 to 3 at Heritage Bank Stadium, Gold Coast. Get your tickets online and save at caravanqld.com.au.
Is your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable? Caruso's Bloaties to the rescue. Caruso's Bloaties contains peppermint and ginger, which are traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to relieve bloating, indigestion and wind, plus digestive enzymes to help your body digest lactose and fat. So if you're fed up with your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable, try Caruso's Bloaties today. Caruso's Bloaties comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health stores.
¿Vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí.
Ah, mira.
Don't miss the SunBoost Leap Year Solar Special. Install the powerful 6.6 kilowatt premium bill breaker with 2023's discount extension for an unbeatable $36.91. Must end Feb 29.
Get your energy bills reduced. Call 1300 SunBoost.
The time to visit Cairns and Great Barrier Reef is right now!
There's plenty to do up here.
This is one of the best times to visit the Great Barrier Reef.
Our rainforests are greener and our waterfalls are looking amazing.
It's a great time to meet the locals.
Tropical food is in season and the beaches, come on.
Don't miss out on tropical holiday season!
I'm Nat from O'Brien. These cracks all started as chips. Happens a lot. We replace thousands of windscreens, but a chip repair is faster, cheaper and greener. And with car insurance, your repair is usually free. Book today.
From wherever you sit, 40 million is big.
The Keno Go jackpot is now a whopping $40 million. Only on Keno Go.
Download the app now.
I'm taking over your uterus.
Is love and determination enough for a big miracle? Tonight after Married on 9.
Welcome back, updating our top stories this hour. The tragic death of Ipswich grandmother Violene White, allegedly at the hands of a 16-year-old boy, has sparked calls for Violene's law, which would allow magistrates to impose stricter sentences on serious youth repeat offenders. A 23-year-old mother charged with the murder of her 7-month-old son in November 2022 has been committed to stand trial over his death in a Brisbane court. And global superstar Taylor Swift has arrived in Sydney following 3 back-to-back shows in front of more than 280,000 fans in Melbourne. A wild storm has lashed parts of New South Wales this afternoon. 75,000 lightning strikes hitting within a 100-kilometre radius of Sydney's CBD, one of which has struck 4 people who've since been rushed to hospital. Sophie Upcroft has the latest.
Wild storms of this afternoon lashing the coast of New South Wales. The brunt was felt here in the city at around 1 o'clock. Tourists and workers around the Opera House and in the Botanic Gardens running for cover. A large fig tree in the Botanic Gardens was struck by lightning. 4 people underneath were injured. A man and a woman in their 30s, a 19-year-old male and a 20-year-old woman who suffered burns to her shoulder. Some of the patients also reported a brief loss of consciousness. Tourists who were in the area at the time say they saw intense lightning pierce through the skyline as rain poured sideways.
We just managed to get off the River Cat and then it started.
It was very scary, you know. There was a lot of tourists that were running for cover when the lightning hit.
The SES has warned of possible flash flooding with isolated downpours of 50 to 100 millimetres expected to continue throughout the afternoon.
A 10-year-old Taylor Swift fan remains in a coma fighting for life this afternoon, just days after her 16-year-old sister was killed in a car crash on their way to the pop star's Melbourne concert. Bronte Gilday has more.
Neighbours along this quiet street in Oxenford here on the Gold Coast are clinging to hope this afternoon as they receive a somewhat positive condition update on 10-year-old Freya Picarier, who's currently in ICU at Sydney's Westmead Hospital. She was involved in a tragic crash just outside Dubbo. Her mother and sister Mika also in the car when it collided with a truck. The family was singing along to their favourite Taylor Swift songs, driving from the Gold Coast on their way to the pop star's Melbourne concert. 16-year-old Mika was tragically killed. Freya airlifted to hospital where she's undergone brain surgery. The good news today, there is so far no confirmed brain damage, but the little Swiftie is fighting for her life in an induced coma. Her godmother has been providing updates on behalf of the family and in her videos speaks directly to Taylor Swift.
I wanted to thank Taylor Swift and let you know, Taylor, that we don't have any expectations of you contributing to our fund because already you've changed our lives. It's been really empowering, becoming stronger women. The girls were so sure of who they were and what they need, and you're just an exemplary role model.
A GoFundMe has been set up to support the family while their neighbours look after Freya and Mika's cat, Mr. Perfectly Fine, who was named after a Taylor Swift song.
An inquiry is underway after an Australian equestrian star wore an orange mankini during a show jumping event in New South Wales. Shane Rose's chances of attending his 4th Olympics are now at stake after someone took offence to the stunt. Damien Ryan has more.
Shane Rose, 50 years old, he's won 3 Olympic medals and looking for a 4th Games in Paris, but those plans have suddenly hit a hurdle after a fancy dress outfit upset a member of the equestrian elite. Rose jumped on his trusty steed in a mankini, swimming attire made infamous by Borat. Obviously not the most comfortable outfit, as he and other show jumpers dressed up for a bit of fun before a competition on the weekend in the Southern Highlands. A spectator in the crowd took offence to his swimsuit and lodged an official complaint with Equestrian Australia. As a result, he's been stood down from future competitions to allow an inquiry. Of course, the worst case scenario could see him barred from a 4th Olympics. You'd have to hope that could not happen. In the meantime, Shane has apologised for any offence caused and is waiting for this investigation to play out.
I didn't think I was rolling the dice. I thought we were just having a bit of fun and a bit of Aussie humour of dressing up as in a mankini. I couldn't have imagined beyond my wildest dreams that it would have got the media presence that it has. It's gone global, which is unbelievable. Sure. If I've overstepped the mark, I'm sorry for that.
The mankini-wearing show-jumping champion is attracting headlines right around the world. As for Shane, he's promised to bin the swimsuit and will be back jumping back into his jodhpurs.
The asbestos crisis in Sydney is escalating, with more sites testing positive for the deadly substance. But as Liz Daniels reports, the health issue could be far from over, with more results yet to come in.
As testing continues, another 7 sites have been identified as having this contaminated mulch laid, and they include a school. Dom Remy College in Five Dock is still open today with the area cordoned off. Riverston Sports Centre and a pathway at Tilapia being developed as part of the Parramatta Light Rail project are also on this list of new sites, which takes the current total of positive tests to 41 sites. One of the biggest remediation operations underway right now is at Liverpool West Public School. It's been closed for a week now, with students learning from home. Today, they started in temporary classrooms at the nearby Garry Public School, but parents said drop-off was a little tough.
It's too far for us, so it became very confusing. It was easy for us, closer from home, the West Public School, but we have to catch a bus and, public transport and everything is, it's tough. Hopefully everything will be okay.
There are still another 3 schools awaiting test results, including here at Edmondson Park Public. But the Education Minister says she's hoping to be able to keep operations as normal as possible for as many students as possible.
We're working very diligently to ensure that every school we identify that may have used anything that came from a company along the supply chain is tested. As those tests come back, if they are positive and the site can be cordoned off, then we really want children to remain at school.
Now, over the weekend, there were more than 100 sites tested, and this afternoon we're told that as those results come in, we should expect to see more positive sites.
The rental market is being described as a slow-moving train wreck, with some Australian suburbs recording cost increases of as much as 55% in a year. Chris Kohler has more.
For upwards of 3 years, the rental market has been described as being in crisis, but now analysts say it's gone beyond that, with almost all renters now seeing significant cost increases.
It is a dire situation, especially when you have rising homelessness in this environment.
Booming population has supercharged demand for housing, and supply hasn't kept up. The cost of renting has risen nationwide by 10% or more, but a long list of suburbs have seen astronomical increases up to 55% or hundreds of extra dollars per week.
There is a huge gap right now between supply and demand, and that's what's squeezing rents up.
Almost all rental agreements are for 1 year or less, so very few renters are shielded from the rise, and with vacancy rates sitting near 1% in many parts of the country, few can find another place they can afford.
When you have a rent increase of that kind of size, you're going to have to start making really big trade-offs.
We'll have more details on which suburbs have jumped by the most in price in 9 News at 6.
A man has fronted court after allegedly keying several luxury vehicles across Sydney. Aaron Ramsey has the details.
Nathan Abella has been banned from 3 shopping centres after he allegedly keyed 6 vehicles parked in car parks at Rouse Hill, Box Hill and Schofields, causing $10,000 worth of damage. The 34-year-old denied he had anything to do with damaging the 6 cars when he left Amber Laurel Correctional Facility at Emu Plains today.
The circumstances as to how they became keyed, but Jesus Christ, all day it's hot, I'm walking, I'm a little overweight, one thing leads to another.
The Blacktown man is accused of damaging 6 vehicles parked at shopping centres, including 3 Teslas, an Audi, a Mercedes and a Volkswagen Golf over the past 2 months. Sensor cameras inside a parked Tesla automatically captured the moment he allegedly dragged a sharp object along the side of the vehicle. Police were called to a Schofield shopping centre last night where they arrested Abella. He allegedly had a bladed metal tool in his possession. Abella has a YouTube channel where he regularly posts videos of rants and workout tips, including a video posted just hours before his arrest.
90 degrees, and you just bounce. Or you do it with one leg and bounce.
A court also heard that Nathan has been living on the streets, and part of his strict bail conditions, he must now return home to his mother's house in Blacktown.
A swift landing. Superstar Taylor Swift touches down in Sydney during a cruel summer storm. The big winners at the Baftas and how the Aussie nominees went. Plus, saving an Aussie icon. Meet the Queensland family rescuing Sarah Lee.
The Brisbane family robbed by teenage crime gangs 4 times.
Terrorism in your own house.
40% of southeast Queenslanders now live in fear of teen crime. The only survivor of the deadly mushroom lunch speaks for the first time. And Tay-Tay on the move. 9 News, your news at 6.
I'm Chad Kekovich, and I'm excited to deliver Domino's new lamb range. Succulent slow-cooked lamb, served up on a platter of pizza. It's as easy as tap, tap, ding dong. It's lamb for all from Domino's.
At Brighton Homes, they're letting life in and letting the savings begin. So, for a limited time, they're offering $35,000 cash back on their homes. Don't miss out. Drop into a Brighton display home today.
With Ancestry DNA, I can explore deeper connections with the people and places from my past and discover more of my family story today.
There could be more to your story too. Piece it together with Ancestry DNA.
5 Star Outdoors, we're committed to the best quality outdoor solutions.
Whether it's roller shutters, cafe blinds, we offer a one-on-one service.
And right now, 35% off all products. 5 Star Outdoors.
I'm cutting my hair for blood cancer.
I have never seen a production any better than this, anywhere.
Breathtaking. It is absolutely stunning.
I feel better about the world. I feel uplifted.
Invigorating. It was encouraging, gave me hope.
This has just been therapy for the soul.
It's a must-see. Must-see.
Make sure you see it. Make sure you see it.
Coming to Gold Coast and Brisbane, February 23rd to 27th. Shenyang.com.
No one does 2-for-1 travel deals like Tripadeal. Book a bucket list trip today and get 2 people for 1 incredible prize. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
The resources industry is Queensland's nest egg, contributing billions to roads, police, hospitals and schools. But for short-term gain, the government introduced the world's highest coal royalty tax, putting Queensland's nest egg under pressure. Already billions of dollars in mining investment has been cancelled or frozen. The government must reconsider and work with the industry to protect our state's nest egg. Hurt Queensland resources and you hurt Queensland's future. Keep Queensland competitive. Authorised by Andrew Barger, Queensland Resources Council Limited, Brisbane.
Green, apples, pears, kids fruit free. Who wants one? Me! Yummy. Making healthier, easier. That's today's fresh food people.
Which pet can poo 300 times a day?
It's gotta be a rabbit. Worst Pez dispenser ever.
Tuesday after married.
Kicking Queensland flood victims when they're down. State government promised to buy back their flood-prone homes, but
Another lie?
9 News investigates tonight.
After 3 record-breaking concerts at the MCG, Taylor Swift has left Melbourne, the singing superstar jetting out of the city today for Sydney. Nathan Curry helped farewell her.
Taylor Swift's VIP and merchandise tents in Yarra Park are being packed away today, and inside we have seen workers pulling apart the concert stages as well to try and get the MCG ready for the football season after that third and final show. It certainly looked different last night with another 96,000 people packing it out, and Taylor herself even saying she will remember her record-breaking run here in Melbourne.
The math is that it's 288,000 people in 3 nights. Melbourne, you're the love of my life. I cannot believe you.
Big claim from Taylor there, but she backed it up on her social media this morning when she said that Melbourne was on another level. She thanked us all for the memories and said she'll revisit the ones from this weekend often. It was a pretty quick flight out of Melbourne today. She flew out of Melbourne on her private jet just after midday, bound for Sydney. It is Sydney's turn. They've got 4 shows to look ahead to later this week, and we'll bring you the latest from Taylor Swift's record-breaking tour here in Australia in 9 News at 6.
And we will, of course, have the latest on Taylor Swift's movements, including all the latest sightings in the news at 6 o'clock. Well, the Aussies have missed out on a major movie gong again, this time at the Baftas, trumped by Oppenheimer. Here's Europe correspondent Brett McLeod.
Certainly a star-studded lineup on the red carpet for the Baftas this year, including Hollywood royalty, a lot of famous British actors and performers, and a number of Australians as well, including Margot Robbie, nominated for Best Actress for her role in Barbie, as well as producer of that film. Very excited to talk about the success of that film and what it's meant globally.
It's created this real sense of community with anyone else who's seen it. People who've seen it, and anyone wearing pink now seems connected just through the colour alone. So it's been so amazing just to kind of spread that joy and connection everywhere.
When the ceremony got underway, hosted by Doctor Who, David Tennant, all eyes were on the most nominated film, which was Oppenheimer. 13 nominations, and it really did scoop the pool. First off was Best Supporting Actor, Robert Downey Jr., 31 years after his previous BAFTA. Best Actor went to a clearly delighted Cillian Murphy, and after 5 nominations, Christopher Nolan took out Best Director.
It suddenly occurs to me that my younger brother beat me up here by about 40 years, not because he's yet won a BAFTA, but because he was part of the Snowflake Chorus in the Nutcracker here many years ago.
Emma Stone took out the award for Best Actress for her role in Poor Things. It also got a number of other technical awards as well. And one of the most moving moments of the night was when Michael J. Fox came onto stage, receiving a standing ovation before he presented the best film. And it wasn't a surprise who that went to.
And the BAFTA goes to, oh, I can read it, Oppenheimer.
So Oppenheimer, the big success story here at the BAFTAs, and maybe a precursor as to what's to come at the Oscars.
A Gold Coast family has swooped in to save one of the most iconic frozen dessert brands in the country. The Quins taking over Sara Lee, and this isn't their first heroic act. Bronte Gilday reports.
Everybody doesn't like something.
Triggering nostalgia Australia-wide.
But nobody doesn't like Sara Lee.
Sara Lee and its renowned ads at home here since the 70s, under threat of losing its place on Gold Coast dinner tables forever.
Administrators are frantically searching for a buyer for Sara Lee.
Enter the Quinn family, who sold Ormo's VIP pet foods for $410 million in 2015, and with their fortune saved struggling confectionery giant Darryl Lee. Clark Quinn and his partner Brooke now taking on a new challenge.
We've got the confidence and we've got that great experience that we had in Darryl Lee.
We just thought, you know what, we can't really let this go. Let's throw our hat in the ring and see what happens.
The 3-time Australian GT champion starting the long process of pulling Sara Lee out of the red, a godsend for its 200 factory workers.
While the Darryl Lee product line got a haircut when the Quins took over, they say that won't be the case this time around. So impressed with the quality and range of Sara Lee, you can be confident your dessert favourites aren't going anywhere.
If anything, we're looking to grow that range into a number of different formats to get more products more available for Australians to be a part of their everyday lives once more.
Bronte Gilday, 9 News.
Great news. Well, just ahead, a look at what's coming up in the news at 6. Plus, a moving mass. Why a cow went to a service at the Vatican.
And the showers and thunderstorms over southeast Queensland have eased. That warning has been cancelled. Still a little bit of light rain falling in the city and more to come. Right now it's 26 degrees.
The Brisbane family robbed by teenage crime gangs 4 times.
Terrorism in your own home.
40% of southeast Queenslanders now live in fear of teen crime. The only survivor of the deadly mushroom lunch speaks for the first time. And Tay on the move. 9 News, your news at 6.
On an all-new My Way, the best of stunning Moreton Bay. Celebrate the history of one of the world's oldest cultures.
Because your story is your mark.
Discover Queensland's crown jewel of seafood.
I'll keep track of quality if I'm personally involved.
Solving the mystery of the history of maths.
Everybody can do mathematics.
And pay homage to one of Australia's greatest imports.
I don't think you can turn the radio on without having some Bee Gees song playing.
My Way on 9. My Way, Sunday 5:30 on 9.
Want Sunday lamb that won't take half a Sunday to prepare? Say hello to Domino's new lamb meat lovers and Greek lamb tzatziki pizzas. If your mouth isn't watering, you've had too many tofu burgers. It's lamb for all from Domino's.
Josh is back at school, but poverty means he's missing out on excursions, essentials, and the extra support to flourish. A little help can make a big difference. Sponsor a child today. Search the Smith family.
Age has nothing to do with a number. It's about a state of mind. A decision to seize every day and make it yours. Some people have been alive for ages and never really lived. But that's okay. They'll figure it out. Or they won't. What are you waiting for?
New homes are now selling at Gem Life Moreton Bay. Find out more at gemlife.com.au.
If you buy a Titan Garage shed this month, you'll get 2 free automatic door openers.
What a cracker deal and worth $660. Buy a double garage, double in a workshop or an Osbarn and get 2 free automatic door openers.
Thanks, Titan.
It's for this month only, so don't muck around. And remember, Titan can take care of your council requirements and deliver to your door.
You'll be lucky you got a Titan.
I'm lucky. Call 13 27 36 for the Titan Display Centre near you.
Lucky.
Get who gets you. eHarmony.
When you stay to Stays, you always get the whole home. Not part of it, but the whole upstairs, the whole downstairs, the whole fridge, and the whole secret nap room. Because is it really a holiday home if you have to share the house with a host?
Get more bang for your buck with Skyring. Set up an investment account today and unlock a competitive return of up to 8.05% per annum. Distributions are paid monthly. To become a Skyringer, visit skyring.com.au.
Allergies? I have heaps. Homework, ballet, doing the dishes.
Telfast gives fast, long-lasting relief from year-round allergies, so kids can do what they love. And the dishes.
This weather report brought to you by Telfast. Don't delay. Keep sneezing at bay. Nothing beats Telfast. Now available at Chemist Warehouse.
Farmers in Italy have brought a cow to Mass at the Vatican amid agricultural protests across Europe. The bovine, called Urculina, joined thousands of worshippers in St Peter's Square for the Mass gathering led by Pope Francis. Italian farmers said the blessings from the pontiff would give them strength to tackle industry issues, including dwindling pay and rising costs. What a sight. Well, let's take a quick look at some of the big stories coming up at 6 on 9 News Queensland. The hunt for a man in Logan armed with a samurai sword.
terrorism in your own home.
The Brisbane family robbed by teenage crime gangs 4 times. Worrying poll result, 40% of southeast Queenslanders live in fear of teen crime. The only survivor of the deadly mushroom lunch speaks for the first time. Surprise winners of Australia's best car models. Local heroes saving a Logan koala in the middle of a busy road. Plus, tracking Tay-Tay, the pop princess, on the move. All those stories and the rest of today's news coming up straight after Tipping Point. For now, though, it's time for our full weather forecast with Garry Youngberry. Gaz, can we expect any more storms this evening?
Aislin, over the next couple of hours there is still a chance, but as we move into the evening that will decrease. Certainly some showers and some patchy rain. Still a little bit on the radar at the moment. If we have a look and wind it back from around midday, you'll see some of the heavier falls recorded this afternoon. Around 55 millimetres in an hour at Bow Desert, while 68 millimetres the drop going to Mount Tamborine, but still the chance of a few showers over the next few hours. Let's have a look at temperatures recorded today across southeast Queensland. They range from 27 in Toowoomba to 30 Ipswich, Bow Desert, Gatton and Caboolture. 29 degrees here in the city, Redcliffe, the Golden Sunshine Coast. The weather map, showers and storms will continue across the tropics from ex-tropical cyclone Lincoln. Showers and storms also for inland Queensland, eastern New South Wales, Victoria and Tassie from moisture-laden easterly winds. For the capitals, the heat continues for Perth, hot in Adelaide, a shower or two Canberra, showers for Sydney and Darwin, 38 in Alice Springs. Queensland, a few showers likely for Cairns, Townsville and Mackay. Afternoon shower in Rocky, Gladstone, Bundy, Maryborough and Gympie. Sunny and hot inland, 39 degrees in Longreach. Possible afternoon shower and storm in Roma. Brisbane tomorrow, a few showers with still the chance of a storm and a top of 29 degrees. The week ahead, a few showers Wednesday, still the possibility of a storm. Chance of a shower and storm Thursday and Friday. It'll be hot on Saturday, 34 degrees with definitely showers and storms developing. That'll be ahead of a cooler southerly change as we get into Sunday. Pretty unstable weather for the rest of the week, Aislin.
That cool change sounds lovely, Garry. Thanks very much. And that is our afternoon news for this Monday. Our main bulletin is coming up at 6 with Melissa Downs and Andrew Lofthouse. I'm Aislin Kriukelis. I'll see you tomorrow.
Our machine's shelves are stacked with counters, and these 3 contenders